The Port Street Bastion is a medieval guard tower which was built into Stirling's city walls in the 16th century. Open to local visitors and tourists, the Bastion also features a small makeshift prison known locally as the Thieves' Pot. What is strange and unique is its situation within the Thistles, which is a bustling shopping centre in the heart of Stirling. To discover why the Bastion had been needed in the first place and the importance of such defences to a medieval city, I spoke to local tour guide Martin Watsman, who gave me an insight into 16th century Stirling.
Stirling was a significant holding for no matter who had it, not just because of the trading facilities that were available by having the river, but also because from very, very early times, going back as far as the Roman period, Stirling controlled access to the north. And in order to protect it, you put up walls.
The Bastion was constructed during the period known as the Rough Wooing of Edward VI and Mary Queen of Scots, during which time Stirling was constantly under attack from English forces. The Bastion protrudes from the walls, which made it useful when defending the city against enemies. John Harrison, chairman of Stirling's Historical Society.
This is an 18th century map of Stirling, and it will show you do see the Bastion. The idea is that you can see along the two ways, and because it projects, you could fire along the line of the wall. So what it means is that if the enemy get close up and are attacking the wall, you can take a pot shot at them along the line of the wall.
So the Bastion was important in times of war, but Martin also explained to me why the Bastion helped boost local commerce when it was still in use.
Obviously, if you build walls, you have a better protection around your town. The better protection you can give against roving marauders or whatever, then the more people will want to come and live in your town, the more people will want to trade with your town. And that really is why most of these medieval towns built the walls.
If the Bastion helped protect commerce, it's perhaps fitting that the building which was built around it is a modern marketplace. But despite its significance in Stirling's past, the Bastion has fallen into disrepair and relative obscurity. I spoke to Dr. Elspeth King, local historian and curator of the Stirling Smith Museum, about the current state of the display.
When the Bastion was discovered, there was a campaign got up to save the Bastion and make it part of the shopping centre. It was 75 that the Thistle Centre was opened and it was restored at that time.
Okay, I'm here in the Bastion after descending the metal spiral staircase, which is in the centre of the room. It's a small room, colder than it is in the shopping centre obviously. There's a low roof, no windows, very dark, very depressing. The only way in is through the spiral staircase.
The current display I put in about 1998, so it's very dilapidated and badly needs restoration, but there's so many pressing things. It involves pinning the Thistle Centre manager down, getting buckets of water and other facilities to go down and do the painting and the other things that need done there.
In the Thieves' Pot itself are two mannequins which I was told were once in better condition. A lot of the artefacts that used to be down here have been removed, and it's probably because they're being taken to somewhere else where there's a lot more interest being shown and a lot more funding being given.
There's been very little spent on it in the last 20 years, really. I think the Thistle Centre manager quite likes it, but like the rest of us, he's very busy and it's not top of his priorities.
Over the years, the Bastion has faded from public consciousness, and it is clearly not receiving the care it requires. I tried to get in contact with a local councillor to find out why this is, but they declined to comment. Elspeth suggested that Colin Molson, the manager of the Thistle Centre, held some responsibility, so I found him during a busy shopping day and asked him how he felt about the Bastion.
You won't find another shopping centre in the UK that has such a feature as this. I'd rather it was there because it's so unique, with a piece of history from the surrounding area within it like that. The Bastion Jail, strictly speaking, belongs to the council. But I think, even to be honest, I think there's a bit of confusion on the part of the council whose responsibility it is. So we just do our best to keep it going. In the meantime, Historic Scotland are considering making it giving it listed building status. That's just waiting on word back for that, actually, because it'll become protected.
Elspeth had told me that she was desperate to get into the bastion to carry out repairs, but Colin seemed unaware of this.
I'd welcome her input, a historian like her, yeah. But certainly I didn't know that she was trying to gain access to it, but I'll put in a call to her on that basis. That's useful to know that.
If Historic Scotland make the bastion a listed building, then it may finally see the refurbishment it desperately needs. But if the bastion cannot be saved, then this piece of history may be lost to future generations.
And the whole thing, it's just a shame. I mean, it was a shame that it was amalgamated into the Thistle Centre in that way, so that you lose the context as a historical building.
It is the touch of that stone, the feeling that human civilization has been in a place for a huge length of time. And I think if you lose that, you cut off the younger generation from a connection with their own history and their ancestry. And that is the thing that makes it so important.